Salam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Ada nama yang familiar? Okay. Hi, I'm Madam Aiza. We wait another 3 to 5 minutes for your friends to join us tonight.
Madam, mic on ke?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Is it the sound is okay, right? Okay, what do you expect for these recap sessions actually? Are you ready for your March exam?
Yes, that.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, sebab I kena admit di orang yang masuk ni, so dia jadi macam gabut sikit. Okay. Alright. Just to refresh, how many of you taken December exam? You can do a reactions by raise your hand, okay? If you don't want to unmute your sound, no problem. Who are taking December exam? 2020. Specific, December 2020. Tak ada. September 2020? For ATX. December 20 tak ada. Okay, so you are the first timer. So Sophia?
I took ATX on September 2020.
September 2020. Okay. Tuan Aiman, Fazrin, okay. All right. Now, okay, it's already 8:30. So never mind. Later we'll just admit. Okay. Now, Assalamualaikum. Very good afternoon. Good afternoon pula. Okay, hari ni pack sangat. Ada kelas pagi sampai petang. Campur sekolah lagi. Okay. Baru second day of school for online sessions. Okay. I have 3 kids. Okay, and all of them are doing online learning. So kita bergabung. Okay. Umi and anak-anak bergabung dengan lecture lagi dengan so quite busy for these 2 days until tomorrow lah to adapt for the new situations. Okay. Now, so can you write down? Okay, tak payah tunjuk kat I pun. Okay, what do you expect for these 2-hour sessions for specifically for this RPGT topic? Okay, because at the end of the sessions, I want you to reflect back. Okay. What you have learned for these what you can recap for these 2-hour sessions, okay, to close your gap, okay, or because we want to identify your, you actually want to identify your strengths and weaknesses, okay, with regards to RPGT topic. Nampak macam senang this RPGT topic, right? And RPGT is we can say it is a guaranteed in TX paper, but for ATX, the topic might come up, okay? And for the previous 2 to 3 years back, okay, this topic is a must in the final exam questions, okay? Cuma dia punya markah tu mungkin banyak atau sikit je lah, okay, apa yang dia nak tanya. And latest paper, December 2020, okay, they come out in question number 3. But question number 3, there are 2 part, A and B. So part A, they ask you with regards to RPGT. Part B for SST. Okay, so it can be said that this topic is a guaranteed topic in your final exam as well. All right. Now, okay, wait now. I just want to I tak boleh. Sekejap technical error Okay, recorded kan? Okay. Alamak. Supposedly, okay. Now, kejap I kena admit dia ni. Sorry. Kejap dah record dah tapi kejap. I tak boleh nak admit lagi seorang, lagi dua ni. Bila kita pakai tab, dia jadi ada yang tak boleh masuk lagi Dia ada nampak apa-apa tak? Sorry guys. Sebentar sebentar. Okay. Wait Okay, dia dah record kan? Dah nampak, okay. Alright. Now RPGT. Okay, what to expect? Okay, in these sessions we will discuss the latest provisions in RPGT Act. Okay, which this will directly impact your RPGT liability as well, the compliance requirement. Okay, and for both TX and ATX, okay, these topics is important. This is one act. Kalau dalam ATX, there are 5 acts to be covered. Okay, Income Tax Act, RPGT Act, SST, okay, PIA, Promotional Investment Act, and then number 4, Stamp Duty Act, number 5, Stamp Duty Act, and not to forget your Labuan Act. Okay, so the advanced topics in ATX is including the implications on the implications on the debts of an individual, okay, the intra-group transfer, and including also your RPC. Okay, December 2020 dia keluar tentang RPC shares. Okay, they highlight about the RPC scenario. Okay, now ATX, RPGT will cover both part, basics and also advanced. Okay, bila yang advanced ni selain daripada chargeable person who is individu and also company. Masa TX level kita cover only part the chargeable person only, okay, chargeable person you only individu ataupun company, and individu here can be citizen or non-citizen, and company it also can be incorporated in Malaysia and not incorporated in Malaysia. Okay, macam mana kita nak add tadi, orang tadi tu? Okay, sekejap lagi sekali. Sebab I tak boleh nak co-host kat sini, I dah termasuk. Okay. So you kena tengok je lah kita, siapa yang join kita ni. Okay, now. Okay, in these sessions, okay, we will do 3 parts. All right. Highlight about the scope. Generally, what is your RPGT? Mainly the scope of RPGT, who is the chargeable person, and what will be the rate that you use for RPGT. So the latest compliance. So main objective kita tadi to highlight what will be your the new compliance, new rules that you will use. Okay. And to determine the date of disposal and also date of acquisitions. That is the first part about the basic. This is the basics rules, the principle. Okay. Second part, highlight about general setup for answering ATX questions. Okay, every income that you have ataupun receipt that you have. Okay. First, you identify whether where do you find this income, the sources of your income. Okay. Second point, you want to highlight with regards to any assumptions or not. Okay. As a taxpayer, our main objective is to pay less tax. Okay. Same goes in RPGT. We are the chargeable person, but in general, we don't want to pay tax. Okay. And what will be the assumptions you will get under RPGT Act? Okay. And these assumptions will reduce your chargeable gain later. And the third step, okay, first you know the sources of income. Okay, for RPGT sources, you must be capital gain. If it is revenue gain, or we say that it is revenue in nature, your income is revenue in nature, it will not be subject to any RPGT implications. Okay, revenue under ITA. So first thing you dapat, let's say you have this 100,000 gain or income, ada dalam account you 100,000. So justify whether that income is revenue in nature or capital in nature. If it is capital in nature, then it might be subject to RPGT. Okay, but there are qualifying conditions. Okay, and tadi kita highlight about the step. Okay, when you have income, identify the sources, assumptions, and in which year of assessment you should pay your tax. And number 4, always calculate the amount of tax payable. Okay, this step you can use for your ITA, okay, compliance, RPGT compliance, or even SST compliance. All right. And now the third part, okay, apa yang kita akan buat tonight is to look into the advanced part, okay, the RPGT implications on the debts of individual, intra-group transfer and relief, and also RPC shares. Okay, okay. You can see that my slides dalam banyaknya 50 something kan, okay, but that is only the sample of the past year exam as well. Okay, first part, kita tengok scope and so on. Okay, so scope of charge. Okay, normally ATX people, they want you to justify or to give meaningful, what we call, they want you to identify and explain the principle used in your calculations. Okay, you are not only have to know the format of your tax com, okay, but you have to explain how you derive at certain figure, why you take your disposal price at certain amount. Okay, so the reason behind it. Okay, with regards to the scope of charge here, we said that RPGT is your capital gain derived from the disposal of real property. So generally, what is real property? Okay, you have to know this real property can be, the technical terms that they use is chargeable asset. Anytime when you dispose your chargeable asset, you might be subject to RPGT. And chargeable asset you can be land, the real property, or the RPC shares. Okay, shares that you have in RPC, in real property company. Okay, now gain here must be capital gain, not income in nature. And what do you mean by disposal? Sometimes they didn't mention about the scenario didn't mention about you dispose the item. They did not use the terms of disposal. So disposal can be in the way of transfer, you sell the item, you convey the item, or you assign, or even you give as a gift, right? So beside disposal terms, okay, you also have here deemed disposal. Okay, when you surrender your right, or you give, you transfer your asset as a gift, that considered as deemed disposal as well. Okay, now, okay, the real property, just now I highlight about land. The land must be situated in Malaysia, and any interest, options, or other right in the use of such land. Okay, so it can be, kalau kita kata any part of the land, including apa-apa yang ada, termasuklah you punya building. Okay, so real property, okay, this is chargeable asset you. We call it as chargeable asset. Real property company ataupun share, if you have shares in real property company, so you have to identify what is this RPC, real property company. Okay, a control company, or sorry, and the qualifying conditions here for the company to become RPC, it must include TTA dia, total tangible asset must consist of 75% or more in the real property or shares in another RPC. Okay, if you want to ask, you may write in the chat, ataupun you boleh interrupt je anytime. Okay. Now, first illustrations. Okay, Nurul Nadia nak tanya apa? Okay, tak apa. I continue. Now, A Siam Berhad Plantation Company has a land bank of 500 acre acquired in 2009. 5,000 per acre. The 500 acre were reflected as a non-current asset in the company. So, company ada this. On 19 August 2020, the board of directors resolved to venture into property development and to transfer 100 acre from the non-current to current asset. Market value as the date of transfer into inventory was 20,000 per acre. Now, will this be subject to RPGT? What do you think? Is it subject to RPGT? Yes. Why? Okay. On, kita ada kat sini, daripada non-current asset, dia transfer to current asset. The reclassifications of asset. From your non-current asset, you transfer to your current asset. Okay. Walaupun tak keluar daripada company you, but when you transfer your non-current asset, you reclassify the asset, then this considered as deemed disposal as well. So you should recognize it will be subject to RPGT. Okay. So as at 19 August, the 800 acre is deemed to have been disposed, okay, at 2 million. So you are the 20,000 times 100 acre. And the actual acquisition price you, so kalau kita kata subject to RPGT, so you have to know what will be your disposal price. You will compare with your acquisition price to get your chargeable gain. Okay. And then, okay, for RPGT, there are always 4 steps for you to calculate the chargeable net chargeable gain you. So one more, to identify or to take into account your assumptions if available. Okay, then you get your net chargeable gain, gain subject to RPGT. Okay, but in ATX, normally question we highlight about this, what will be the RPGT treatment, or explain, okay, or discuss the RPGT treatment. So you know the computations, the formats you know. So from this format, you just explain, put it in writing. Okay, how you determine your DP, disposal price, how you determine your AP. Okay, so your actual acquisition price is 500,000. Okay, mana datang 500,000? So 5,000 times 100 acre. So your chargeable gain will be your DP minus your AP. And this will be subject to, this is your chargeable gain, subject to RPGT. Okay, and highlight in which year of assessments. So you will pay your RPGT in the year that you dispose the asset, because the compliant part, you have to submit or to pay your RPGT within 60 days from the date of disposal. Okay, so that is the main principle. So tadi kita highlight about your, apa yang you akan tulis dalam you punya explanations or treatments you. So the 4 step tadi, identify what will be your income, whether there is any assumptions or not. Number 3, in which year of assessment you should pay your tax. And kalau you dah tahu, kalau soalan memang suruh highlight what will be the amount of tax to be paid, so highlight berapa amount tax you. Okay, so subsequently here, A, yang berhak will be able to take into inventory 100 acre of land, okay, at the market value. Okay, so the land cost for the development business is now increased to 2 million, but company has to bear RPGT 150. Right? Now, sorry. Okay, who is the chargeable person? Chargeable person is the person who disposed the asset. And tax rate you, okay, this is the new table that we will use, okay. So chargeable person here, they highlight about this company, part 1, there are company, okay. Company here can be resident company, non-resident, okay, private or public, listed or unlisted. And this is company incorporated in Malaysia. Second part, dia ada tentang non-citizen individu, non-permanent resident, executors, and also executors of a deceased person who is not citizen and not permanent resident. So selalu dalam final, dia bagi you tax table. So ini yang kolom yang pertama, kedua, ketiga tu. Okay, now, last time, before 2019, okay, person to whom part 2 and part 3 are not applicable. So this is individu, okay, who is citizen, permanent resident, even partnership, LLP, semua masuk dalam ni. Last time, the rate is 0%. Okay, now rate dia 5%. And because of this zero rating rate is no more applicable here, so we have another new ruling, okay, for the asset that you dispose after 2013, okay, and the asset is acquired before 2013, you have to take the market value as their AP. So dalam ni I rasa ada tu. Dia hang. Okay. Now, Mr. M, a Malaysian citizen, acquired a real property on 9 October for 30,000, which included incidental costs of acquisition. He incurred 12,000 in house renovations and has let out the property for rent until February 2002. Sorry. In March 2002, he incurred 100,000 renovations for the house for second time. On 22nd July 2019, he disposed the property. market value of the property as 1st January 2017 was 40,000. While at 1st January 2000, the market value was 364. Okay. Now, tengok balik illustration ni. Can you extract the RPGT implications here? Now, format of RPGT, you have to know what is your DP. So DPU comprise of your consideration that you receive minus enhancement cost minus incidental cost. AP, ni nak reflect balik kan, kita kata refresh class je kan. So don't worry, tak ada markah pun. Okay. Now APU, consideration that you paid plus incidental costs minus recoveries if any. Okay. So DP less AP, you can get your chargeable gain. Now, from this item, figure yang dibagi ni, can you fill in the blank? Masukkan dekat kolom yang mana? Adakah dia consideration received, enhancement cost, incidental cost? Okay, oh, sorry Nur Nadia. How does alienate comes in the picture of disposal? Okay, alienated. Okay, for example, you transfer your ownership to another person or group. Okay, for example, this land is yours, tapi you transfer to your what we call partnership business. Or from partnership, you transfer to your LLP. Okay, so the normally alienated transfer of the ownership lah. It comes into pictures of disposal as well. Walaupun kita kata that business, this partnership business is your business, but if you originally that asset is your personal land, okay, tanah you sendiri, but then bila you guna tanah tu dalam business you, that can be considered as disposal as well, dalam business partnership you. Okay. Boleh Nadia? Nur Nadia. Okay, now that illustration sudah masukkan kan? So now look at the treatment. Considerations paid. Consideration that you receive 834. Okay. Now enhancement cost you dah ada 2 enhancement cost kat sini. Incurred in December 67 and another enhancement cost, renovations of the property, incurred in March 2002. Okay. Enhancement cost incurred in December 67. This is incurred before 1st January 2000. This item shall be disregarded. Okay. And your acquisition price here, since the asset is bought before, bila dia beli asset ni, dia acquire the asset on 9 October 1967, before year 2000. So you will have the market value as at 1st January 2000. Okay, ini bukan the latest one. Okay, the latest one here, bila you ada asset yang tadi yang you beli sebelum tahun 2000, okay, you will have this the market value as at 1st January 2013. Okay, so you can refer to your latest RPGT technical article, okay, in HCCA website. They highlight about the acquisition price shall be deemed to be market value as at 1st January 2013. Okay, so tapi yang ini kita tunjukkan sebelum ni sebab ada you punya dalam final exam paper yang question yang macam ni keluar, kita kena student tanya, what would be the difference, should I take exam here March or June because I'm afraid of change of the syllabus. Okay, please bear in mind that your syllabus is not changed. Okay, what you have to keep updating is the answer, okay, the past year questions answer reflect to the current ruling, current compliance. Alright, so syllabus will be the same. Kalau you ambil tahun lepas, you belajar 5 benda, okay, tahun ni pun you akan belajar benda yang sama. The syllabus tak berubah. Okay, but apa yang berubah, you kena update with the changes of your, ataupun update with your current ruling. Okay, and current ruling sebenarnya tak banyak pun. Okay, if you know what will be the principle, so let's say yang ini, markah you mungkin kalau you kata you tak tahu ambil market value as at 2013, you akan ambil acquisition price, normal acquisition price. Is it correct? Kalau tadi I kan suruh you masukkan dalam tempat kosong ni tadi, figure you sama tak? Mungkin tak sama kan? Tapi only one tick je lah yang you tak dapat tick. So don't worry, don't panic. So setengah markah je baru kurang. Ada lagi 99.5. Okay, so keep going. Continue je, but you must have strong basic principle. Okay, concept you have to know. Now, why? Okay, another one, assumptions of Schedule 4 here is only applicable to individual, not to the company. This same scenario, dia boleh tukar in terms of who is this person? Company, let's say they highlight about company ABC, Sdn Bhd, acquire a real property. Okay, and cerita sampai habis. Now, what will be the implications of the RPGT treatments? If this is a company, so company instead of Mr. M, this is company M Sdn Bhd. Okay, so there will be no Schedule 4 assumptions. Okay, but other than that will be the same. Plus, satu lagi yang tak sama, kalau ini company, you tak akan ambil deemed market value. You will have acquisition price at actual price that they incurred. No implications of this market value to the company, only to the individual. Why is it so? Sebab kita kata tadi, kalau individu, so you beli masa tahun 1967, sekarang tahun 2020, let's say ni dah berapa tahun? Lebih daripada 6 tahun, right? Bila lebih dari 6 tahun, now they have to pay 5% chargeable gain. Kalau dulu, you jual after 6 years, sebab so kita kata, okay, why you sell that condominium? Because already 6 years. So we don't have to pay any penalty to the bank, and we also don't have to pay any chargeable gain, RPGT, on the gain that we receive. Okay, but now, even though you dispose your asset, your land or your real property, your house, kalau you dah pegang after 6 years pun, you still have to pay 5% here. Okay, so that is the implication is only for this category of tax chargeable person, not to the company or others. Okay, sebab untuk company and other person here yang non-citizen, dia memang kena bayar tax 10%. Okay, so the implications here, the implications of the new ruling is to impact these types of person. The person, normally this is individual, who is citizen and permanent resident. Okay, or even your partnership. Clear? So to refresh, this class is actually to refresh back. Okay, sebenarnya you boleh buat, tapi banyak kerja hari tu, tak sempat. Okay. Alright, illustration 3, as I mentioned earlier tadi, kalau owner adalah M Sdn Bhd. Okay, so bila owner company, your acquisition price is your deemed acquisition price at 1st January 1970. Why? Because yang ini apply to company sebab dulu RPGT belum lagi impose masa dia beli 1967. Okay, so kita punya RPGT Act impose masa 1976. So dia ambil market value as at 1st January 1970. Sebelum tahun tu tak ada lagi RPGT. Okay, tapi don't worry, selalunya kalau final exam dia tak akan bagi you case yang aset yang dah berkurun lama you beli kan, dah berpuluh tahun tu. Okay, cuma kalau tahun yang dia bagi tu 2000, normally 2000 and above lah. Okay, and next. Okay, this is a basic concept to determine the disposal price and also acquisition price. Okay, your date of disposal is actually date of written agreement, not verbal. That is the main principle. Okay, and this written agreements means the date you sign your agreement, both party, who is this? The disposer and also acquirer. And it is not when the constructions of a property is completed. And it is not selalu kalau kita beli building, dia kata, okay, belum dapat lagi CF. CF, Certificate of Fitness lah. Okay? Or it is not when mortgage payments or loan repayments you commence. Okay? It is date when you write your agreement. Okay, why I highlighted this point? In general, you know how to determine the date of disposal when they highlight about the date. Okay, for example, today's date 21 January 2021. Okay, disposal and acquirer sign the agreement. So you can say that this is your date of disposal. Okay, and date of acquisitions, you look into your grant. Okay, the acquirer set on 20th February.
Sorry, madam, I can't hear you. Is it only me? Hello.
Madam mute.
Hello? Boleh dengar tak?
Boleh, boleh. Hilang balik.
Boleh dengar tak?
Sekarang boleh.
Hello?
Hello.
Boleh dengar
Boleh.
Hello? Hello, hello. Ya Allah. Saya cakap dengan boyfriend. Hello? Can you hear me?
Can,
Sekarang
madam.
Clear? Oh, sekejap.
macam pembuat pula.
Sebab I buka dua ni, I kena buang satu lah. I kan tahu. Okay. Okay. Hello class. Hello.
Dengar madam.
Kenapa dia tak dengar lagi? Hello. Dengar tak?
Ya,
Dengar.
madam.
Dengar madam.
Aku tak dengar you. You memang tak cakap
Hello.
Okay. Sekejap. Alright, you are dengar
Dengar.
Okay, dia still recording kan? Alamak. Sorry lah Kenapa entah, padahal kelas hari-hari je. Pakai benda yang sama. Sorry. Mungkin sebab gelabah hari ni hari kedua baru online dengan anak-anak kat rumah. So jadi macam okay. Now. Okay, for this item, date of disposal and date of acquisitions. If you have conditional contract, okay, where the written signed SPA is a conditional upon securing the necessary approval from government. Okay, if you want that asset, dia kena minta permissions from MPAJ, for example, MPSA or state government, government or state government. So the date of disposal is the date such approval or the last of such approval is obtained. Okay, itu normal conditions. Okay, kita kata normal transfer of asset when you have disposed by way of sales, okay, ataupun by way of gift, you ambil date of you sign your agreement. Okay, but if you have to obtain a conditional contract from government or state government, so you will take the date of disposal as the date such approval is given. But with effect from 1st January 2018, the terms government or state government here strictly does not include a local authority, a statutory body or any government committee, because this has been deleted from the paragraph. Okay, so you should aware, okay, let's say ini hanya land yang kalau untuk conditional contract ni, yang you nak ambil date of disposal ni based on the approval must be from the government or state government, not from the local authority. Okay, tadi I mentioned about MPAJ and PSA, that is local authority. Okay, so you should aware about the changes as well. If there is no written agreement, so you akan ambil date of completions, whichever is earlier between transfer of ownership or the date when the whole consideration is received by the disposer. Okay. Now, second part, deem date of disposal, where you take deem to take place when asset is taken into trading inventory. Macam contoh illustration kita tadi. Okay. So this is where acquisition date you is equal to disposal date. Hello? Okay. Hello? Hello? Kenapa dia ada ni? Okay. Now, that is basic concept, yeah. You have to know what will be your disposal date and also acquisition date. Okay, just a simple hands-on. Okay, how to determine your holding period. Okay, why you need to know your disposal date and acquisition date? This is where you want to know what will be the RPGT rate that you will use. Okay, now let's say if today's date is your disposal date, okay. Keluar pula. Okay. Today's date is disposal date. Date of disposal. Date of acquisition is 20th February 2017. So what will be your holding period then? Just a simple computations. Holding period. Why you have to know the holding period? Sebab you nak tahu what will be RPGT rate that you will use. Okay, so you compare the year. So 21, 17, 4 years, right? Okay, now you acquire in February but you dispose January. Belum cukup 1 tahun lagi. So you is actually disposing this item in the 4th year after the year of acquisitions. Okay, then what you should do, you will take whichever you should recognize who is the tax chargeable person, and then determine what will be the tax rate. Okay, now part 2, the assumptions available, allowable loss, computations of RPGT, and also administration's aspect of RPGT. Okay, here, okay, that would be RPGT liability equal to nil. Okay, when is actually you don't have to pay any tax. Okay, when you have zero rating. Okay, zero rating here masa sebelum 1st January 2019. This is the last tax rate. You are the zero rate. Okay, when you dispose your item, your chargeable asset after or in the 6th year or thereafter. But this zero rate is not more applicable. Okay, starting from 1st January 2019. Itu yang tadi kita ada 5%. Zero ni jadi 5%. Okay, but at the same time, there will be also transactions where your RPGT liability is equal to nil. You don't have to pay any RPGT when you have these assumptions. Okay, for assumptions here, RPGT liability will be nil bila you boleh dapat full assumptions. Okay, or assumptions, you also can have partial assumptions. Okay, tapi bila partial assumptions, there will be RPGT payable lah, sebab ada chargeable gain. Okay, now for assumptions, for example, assumptions that you get if you dispose your asset and this chargeable asset is private residential property. Okay, or we apply Schedule 5 assumptions. When you dispose your asset after 6 years of acquisition and the consideration that you receive is not more than 200,000, then you can get full assumptions on the item. But there will be a qualifying conditions that you have to fulfill. Okay, every assumptions, there will be a qualifying conditions. Okay, not only in RPGT concept, but also under ITE concept. Okay, and another one, when there is no RPGT liability, when you have no gain or loss. So what do you mean by no gain or loss? GP is deemed equal to AP. Okay, dah boleh recall balik dah, reflect balik you punya ni. Okay, assumptions available, private residentials. Okay, this is what I highlighted just now, Schedule 3. Okay, Schedule 4 assumptions, tapi Schedule 4 assumption partial assumptions only. Schedule 3, you akan dapat full assumptions. Okay, and who qualified? This is the qualifying conditions, you know, citizen and also permanent resident, not to the company. Okay, only individual who is citizen or permanent resident. Okay, and other qualifying conditions, you only can have these private resident assumptions once in a lifetime. Okay, but if you have, if you husband and wife ada, for example, 3 property, okay, now 2 of it you jual, so 1 each boleh dapat assumptions for these private residents. So kalau contoh rumah pertama, husband jual, so husband claim for the one-time assumptions ya. Rumah kedua, wife boleh claim the one-time. Last time, dulu kala, husband and wife sekali je, satu rumah je you boleh dapat. Okay, tapi dia dah update balik lah. Okay, the new one. Okay, tapi tak adalah new for you. Ini dah lama jugalah. Okay, now Schedule 4 partial assumptions, but this is only for all individual. And another one, assumption for small chargeable asset. This is what I highlighted just now. When you dispose your chargeable asset, but the disposal price or the consideration that you receive is not more than 200,000. And disposal must be made in the 6th year or after 1st January 2019. Okay, and impact of the COVID-19 2020 and 2001 here, if you sell your property tahun 2020, tapi tak masuk dalam SMU ya, don't worry, tak masuk. Tapi ini yang current scenario, current issue, they will get assumptions, full assumptions on the item. Okay, or dia macam wave kan, yang berapa persen tu wave kan. Tapi yang itu don't worry. Untuk SM tak masuk. Tapi kalau buat untuk real life, siapa yang buat jual aset tu boleh dapat assumptions. And assumptions tadi not applicable to company. Okay. Just a simple illustrations. Mr. A, citizen, acquire piece of land on 1st February. So this is date of acquisition. 400,000. So consideration that they pay. He transferred the land to A Siam Berhad on 1st March 2020. In return for 200 shares in A. A company wholly owned by him. A Siam Berhad disposed of the land on 1st September 2020 to third party. So there are two transactions here. The first one, A transfer to A Siam Berhad. So A subject to RPGT or not? Can A have any assumptions on the transfer? Not. Why not? That is no gain nor loss transactions. Very good. No gain nor loss. Yeah. Okay. A transfer land to A Siam Berhad. This is no gain nor loss. And to get this no gain nor loss, DP is deemed to be equal to AP. And always there will be a qualifying conditions that you have to fulfill. Okay. A Siam Berhad is deemed to have acquired the land for 100,000. So this 100,000 will be DP sebab AP dia adalah 100,000. Okay. And when A subsequently dispose the land, kenapa jadi no gain no loss? Qualifying conditions here, A, this is the transfer to the company controlled by him. A ni company controlled by A Siam Berhad is a company controlled by A. So everything that you have, kalau kata no gain no loss, you tahu ini dia punya computations. But other than that, what you should explain in your answer is what will be the qualifying conditions for you to get this no gain no loss. One of it is A Siam Berhad is a company controlled by A. And in return, dia kata apa? You boleh dapat this one, shares. So at least no gain no loss, one of the transactions under no gain no loss, bila you dapat, you transfer your land, in return, land ni pergi dekat A Siam Berhad. Okay, A Siam Berhad bagi you share. So at least 75% the consideration is in shares. Okay, dan baru A dapat no gain no loss. Kalau dia bayar cash, company A Siam Berhad bayar cash, no gain no loss or not? Subject to RPGT sebab dia tak fulfill the qualifying conditions. Okay? Even though this A Siam Berhad is company controlled by A. Tapi A Siam Berhad tak bagi dia apa-apa benefit on that. Dia jual, kira dia jual the share to the company. So they will be subject to, Mr. A will be subject to RPGT. Okay? Alright. Okay. Just to refresh back your basic principle about no gain no loss transactions, other than transfer of gift between spouse, okay, you also have transfer asset owned by individu, yang ini yang kita tengok tadi ni, item number 2. Company controlled by individu or connected person, and the considerations must be wholly or substantially in shares. at least 75% in shares. Okay, so asset yang ditransfer. And to the Mr. A, tadi Mr. A transfer land to A Sdn Bhd. In return, A Sdn Bhd bagi Mr. A shares. Okay, bila dia transfer land, ni no gain, no loss. And here, shares yang dia ada ni is deemed to be your chargeable asset. Okay, but this shares is not shares in RPC company. Ini shares adalah in terms of shares that in exchange of the real property. So the share to Mr. A is a chargeable asset. Okay, let's say kalau contoh, okay, sekejap. Okay, Mr. A, originally dia ada, kenapa company A Sdn Bhd ni dia punya control, dia ada share dalam ni. Let's say originally dia dah ada 100 shares. Okay, so ini nak tunjukkan yang A Sdn Bhd adalah company controlled by Mr. A. Now, bila Mr. A transfer the land to A Sdn Bhd, so this will be subject to no gain, no loss. Why? Because the company is company controlled by Mr. A, and in return, A Sdn Bhd bagi Mr. A another share. Dia bagi lagi another 100,000 shares. Okay. Now, what will be shares that subject to RPGT or chargeable gain? The chargeable gain here only yang ini. Shares ni adalah chargeable asset. Ini bukan. So kalau sekarang total shares yang dia ada dalam A Sdn Bhd is 200,000. Sekarang total dia lah. Okay. But what would be subject to RPGT kalau dia dispose all of these shares? Only 100 shares ni yang subject to RPGT. Can you follow? Another 100 ni is not chargeable asset. Ini memang shares yang dia ada originally masa dia set up the ABC. The A Sdn Bhd. You get me? And this 100,000 shares is chargeable asset. Why? Because shares ni dia dapat in return of the transfer of their real property to A Sdn Bhd. Okay? So itu implications dia. Why the first one is not chargeable asset? The first one can be chargeable asset if these shares company A Sdn Bhd kalau dia adalah RPC. Kalau company A as B bukan RPC, this is not your chargeable asset. Okay? Ini kira macam you punya investment. You punya equity. Okay? So kalau any shares ada in general, you kena tengok kalau dalam kalau you ada shares in company, so shares you tengok apa nature of your shares. Okay. Nature you satu, kenapa you ada shares? Mungkin untuk investment. Okay. And now, shares investment dalam, okay, M Sdn Bhd. You ada juga shares dalam A Sdn Bhd. Ini contoh ni tadi, Mr. A lah. Okay. A Sdn Bhd tadi dia ada 100,000. Investment dalam M Sdn Bhd dia ada 200,000. Dan dia ada lagi shares tadi in exchange of the real property. Dia dapat tadi A Sdn Bhd bagi dia another 100,000. Okay. So, what would be the RPGT implication if Mr. A dispose all of these shares to Mr. K, for example? Yang subject to RPGT only this item. Okay. Now, shares in investment MSB, you can identify sekarang kalau MSB, kalau dia RPC company, real property company, barulah shares ni subject to RPGT. If not, you are not subject to RPGT. Dia considered as capital gain biasa, not taxable dalam ITA, not also taxable under RPGT. Okay? And same goes here. If ASB is RPC, then only these shares will be subject to RPGT. If ASB is non-RPC, then your shares is non-RPC shares. Clear? Tapi yang ini confirm. Sebab apa dia dapat shares ni? Because exchange of your real property to the control company. So then this item shall be subject to RPGT. Okay? Now, for the tax planning purpose, okay? They highlighted that, okay, for the acquirer and the disposer, they should mindful of future plan for the property before proceeding with the no gain, no loss. Okay. Why? Because no gain, no loss may not fulfilling one or more condition to be no gain, no loss transactions. Okay. For instance, to avoid being a no gain, no loss under item 2, considerations may be set at less than 75% shares with the balance in cash. Apa item number 2 tadi? Yang ini. Kenapa kita nak to tax planning as an individual? If you punya shares, you dapat more than 75% means that, macam Mr. A tadi ni, sekarang ni, shares ni will be subject to RPGT kalau you dispose nanti kan. So kalau subject to RPGT, you kena bayar tax. Okay, you jual shares you kena bayar tax. So for tax planning, apa you boleh buat? Bila you bagi, Mr. A bagi the land to ASB, in return ASB bagi dia cash dan share, tapi share tu kurangkan. Kurangkan jadi daripada 75 tapi kurangkan 70. So maybe you can have 70% saja shares. So kalau 70% saja shares, the balance in cash means that shares is not RPC pula, not chargeable asset. So if the item is not chargeable asset, you are not have to pay any RPGT. Clear?
Madam,
So,
nak tanya yang
dia boleh counting lah. Disposer dengan acquirer boleh counting sebab acquirer of the property tadi adalah company yang you control. Okay? Clear? Faham? Nampak senario dia? Kenapa you nak kena plan betul-betul? Bila you transfer land, tadi you dah boleh dapat no gain no loss. Sebab kita kata company itu tadi adalah company control by you. Okay, provided that nak dapatkan no gain no loss ni, kita kata kita ambil kira shares, dia bagi shares. In return, let's say 100,000, shares dia 75,000, cash dia at least 25. Ataupun dia boleh jadi 80-20. So shares is more than 75%. So then to the disposer, baru jadi land ni no gain no loss. Okay? Kita settle, kita happy sebab tak perlu bayar tax. But in return, you are the shares. Okay, you are the shares ni. And bila anytime you dispose shares ni, you will be subject to RPGT. Okay? So, make sure about the, you know how to plan. Okay? No gain or loss transactions. Okay, this is just a simple notes. Okay. Now part 2, allowable loss. Okay, allowable loss when DP is less than AP, and this is not as ITA. Bila kita kata you punya losses tak boleh carry, the losses carry forward will be for 7 consecutive YA only, right? But not to RPGT. Sebab there are student highlight, madam, kita boleh only carry forward the allowable loss until 7 consecutive YA. That is for ITA. Don't mess up with your ITA compliance. Okay. Any unabsorbed losses may be carried forward to the subsequent YA until it is fully absorbed. Okay. And you must make sure that ALU is absorbed after assumption schedule 4. Okay. Kalau tak, you yang rugi. Kenapa you rugi? GP tolak AP dapat CG. Kalau you tolak dulu you punya allowable loss, you dah kerugian untuk, if you entitled for schedule 4, you individu mestilah entitled for the schedule 4, right? So, you tak boleh carry forward lagi lah AL ni. So, AL you akan tolak lepas you tolak schedule 4. Okay, so dapat you punya, you dapat net chargeable gain or chargeable gain subject to RPGT, then only you apply you punya AL, allowable loss. Okay, and one more thing with regards to allowable loss. Okay, there will be a compliance part with regards to if you pay or non-compliance of RPGT. Non-compliance for any act, for example, under ITA and also RPGT and even SST, non-compliance mean, for example, one of it, you tak submit you punya tax return, you tak submit RPGT return, so you have to pay penalty. And you should aware that your penalty, let's say penalty 10% on the unpaid RPGT daripada RPGT payable. And RPGT payable here before you deduct AL. Okay, for example here, you ada RPGT payable here. Okay, tapi sekarang you tak submit the RPGT return within 60 days from the date of disposal. So apa implications dia? You kena penalty. Ini implications dia. And how to calculate the penalty? 10% from the RPGT payable, but not on this amount. The RPGT payable is before you ambil kira unabsorbed allowable loss ni. So you kena tambah dulu, tambah balik allowable loss ni. So you dapat net chargeable gain. Kira you have to adjust your net chargeable gain here without deduct this allowable loss. Okay, then you dapat you punya new net chargeable gain. Baru you darab dengan RPGT rate. That's RPGT rate dia 5%. Sorry, RPGT rate 5%. So you dapat new RPGT payable. Baru darab dengan 10%. Okay. Now, ada apa-apa nak tambah, nak tanya? Ini pengiraan aja lah, illustrations ni just for you to do your simple computations. Okay. Now, part 2, the tax admin. So this is what I highlighted just now, the responsibility of the acquirer and disposer. Okay. Now let's go to part 3, the RPGT implications on the debt of the individual and also intra. Okay, let's look. Why the first one not chargeable, madam? Okay, dah settle. Sorry, I baru nak tengok you punya chat. Okay, intra-group transfer and relief and RPC company. Okay, sorry, RPC shares. Okay, now, RPGT implications on the debts of individual. So there are situations there in ATX, okay, they can give you a scenario for individual punya tax impact, tax computations, okay, and also dia boleh bagi you in terms of ni juga boleh combine dengan settlement, okay. But now one of the scenario or situations, disposal to the legatee, okay, and what will be the keywords here for you to identify, sorry, this one. Okay, bila ada nak tahu tentang RPGT treatments ya. Okay, situations, you highlight situations you. Okay, there are 4 steps. If the deceased person is deemed to have disposed of the property, you highlight on what date. Sebab kita nak impact kita nak ambil kira date of disposal and also date of acquisitions of the acquirer. or beneficial. Okay. All right. Now, and then they highlight about RPGT implications, whether subject to RPGT or not subject to RPGT. And not subject to RPGT, it can be because of your no gain, no loss. Okay. And the third one, highlight about to the transferee, what will be the date of acquiring and also for what amount. So you have to know you punya date of acquisitions and also what will be the acquisition price. Which amount that you will take to the transferee ataupun the acquirer. Okay, the implications of RPGT here. And if the asset is disposed to third party, then what is the gain amount? So it depends on the scenario. So you can use this 4 steps to highlight about your RPGT implications. Okay. Oh, sorry. Dekat chat ada tulis, if allowable loss, kena kira RPGT rate tu? No. Sebab tu kita kata tadi, bila kita kena penalty, allowable loss will be deducted first. Okay. Now. Okay, I assume that you already go through the, sempat ke tengok dia punya situations? Kalau tak, kita kena tengok sini illustration 8 ya, in general lah. So I just explain sikit je nanti. Mr. D mati, died on 13 March 2019. There are 4 property, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first property, land, they acquired 100,000 in 2001. Market value 2019, 350. Mr. E executor sold the land to third party. So ada 2 senario sini. The first one for asset number 1. Mr. D deemed disposed to the executor. Sebab dia dah mati tadi, dia deemed disposed to executor. And to Mr. D, no RPGT because this is no gain, no loss. But to the executor, bila dia jual pada third party, dia akan subject to RPGT. Okay, but untuk tentukan dia punya RPGT, you kena tahu disposal price. Yang ini kita confirm lah tahu. But what will be the AP? So issue dia to determine the AP to the transferee ataupun to the acquirer yang dapat asset you tadi. Okay, so Mr. E, the executor, is deemed to have RP on the date tarikh mati si mati. Date of death, okay, of Mr. D. And dia akan ambil market value masa tarikh tu as their acquisition price. Okay, and bila dia jual pada third party, you follow you punya tax computation macam biasa. Okay, now second property, the family home. This Mr. D, they transfer to the legatee, the widow, and not attracting any RPGT as well, sebab no gain, no loss. Okay, and to the widow, the acquirer, apa issue dia, apa implications dia? What will be your AP and berapa amount and also your date of acquisition. Okay, the date of acquisition not following the date of that Mr. D, but the actual date, the transfer of the property. That is the issue. Macam nampak senang, RPGT senang je nak kira tentukan DP and AP. Tapi how you tentukan you punya DP and AP. Okay. And if the widow subsequently dispose their family home, the acquisition date and acquisition price there will be at this date. What is what is the date? The date, the transfer of ownership or the transfer of the property. Bukan tarikh si mati-mati. Okay. Now the third property, holiday home. Alright. Dia transfer to the son, so no gain or loss juga. Sebab son and to the son, they receive, supposedly they receive, in the will they're supposed to receive cash. But dia ambil holiday home here. Okay. He agreed to accept the home
And now issue dia to the son, what will be the acquisition price of this home? Acquisition price shall be the lower of cash legacy and market value of the home. You kena compare market value dengan berapa sepatutnya dia dapat. Okay, and the acquisition price will be the lower amount. And date of acquisition 2 September ni adalah tarikh dia market value masa tarikh dia transfer to Mr. Tan. Tarikh transfer, bukan tarikh mati. Okay. And last but not least, about the fourth property, shop house. Deemed to have sold the shop house to executor. But still no gain no loss to the Mr. D. No liability. Tapi executor will dispose the item, dijual the item, and dia ada gain. And subject to RPGT, but the holding period is less than 1 year. So RPGT chargeable on the disposal will fall due to the executor, but only in his capacity of the executor, and he will be able to pay RPGT liability from the resources of the deceased person. Okay, so that is the implication. So bila you ada by way of transfer because of the death of individual, so what would be the point that you should highlight is the acquisition price and also date of acquisition. Okay. Now, this is a simple notes. Okay. Advanced topic dalam RPC as well. Kita ada intra-group transfer and relief. Okay. And there will be qualifying conditions, alright, for you to identify whether the gain is subject to RPGT or not. Okay. So, and bila you transfer, bila ada intra-group transfer, can you get any relief? Relief ni in terms of you punya subject or not subject to RPGT lah. Okay. So you can go through the simple notes. Okay. Last one about RPC. Okay. One of the examiners comments dalam RPC, you know that RPC, if you have shares in RPC, you will be subject to RPGT if you dispose the item. But same as the implications when you have chargeable asset disposed by the way of debts of an individual, the keywords is for you to determine when is the acquisition date and acquisition price. If at the first place, bila you acquire the shares, company tu belum lagi RPC. Company non-RPC, tapi dia subsequently, masa contoh 1 Januari 2018 dia belum RPC. Tapi 1 Januari 2020 dia dah jadi RPC. Okay, you ada shares dalam company ni. Contoh tadi Mr. A ada 100,000. Okay, so what will be the implications? 1 hari bulan 1 2020, company dah jadi RPC. So Mr. A have to find out the new deemed acquisition price and deemed date of date of acquisition. Okay, and starting from this date, Mr. A is holding RPC shares. So anytime after 1st January 2020, if Mr. A dispose the asset, Mr. A will be subject to RPGT. Okay. Competition sama je lain. Okay. So to the existing shareholders, RPC shares always RPC shares. So let's say lepas ni Mr. A, dia ada 100,000, anytime when they dispose the shares, they will subject to RPGT. Now the company, let's say 1 hari bulan 1 2021, company cease to become RPC, dah jadi non-RPC. Tapi shares yang Mr. A ada ni still RPC shares walaupun status company berubah. Okay? Clear?
Yeah.
Let's show you one This is the examiner comments for March 2020. March 2020 pula. December 2020 punya exam. So new date of acquisition is when company start become RPC. Yes, Suraya. The new date of acquisition shall be the new date masa tarikh company become RPC. So you kena cari bila dia punya date, and yang you kena cari adalah amount of deemed acquisition price you. Okay. Now, question 3, December 2020, there are two parts. The part A examine about RPC, while part B examine the service tax. Now, part A, many candidates knew the definitions of RPC. What is RPC? Okay.
Property company.
You punya TTA, okay, dia adalah control company, right? Okay lah, madam ni pening lah kita orang, okay. Nanti adalah dia punya tu, definitions of RPC. Now, they were less sure about the determinations of acquisition date and acquisition price of RPC share, especially in relation to bonus shares. The computations were not done well. Okay, so reflect back to yourself. If this question, kita tanya balik, okay, let's say this is the questions. Just nak tunjuk dekat you lah. Tapi this one is the, here. Okay, there are two parts. 3A ni ada dua part pula. Okay, 10 markah untuk RPGT. Another 10 marks for SST. Okay, sebab question 3 carry 20 marks. So 10 marks for your RPGT. Okay, so dia boleh combine dengan other topics as well. Explain when MB became RPC. Determine the date of acquisition and acquisition price of RPC shares to each shareholders. So the date of acquisition to the shareholders shall be date company become RPC. Itu dia punya definitions ataupun the principle. And then you kena tengok kat soalan tu apa dia punya date lah. Okay. And dia punya acquisition price ada formula yang you pakai kan? Okay, ingat balik nanti. So dalam my notes tu I dah bagi juga, right? Okay, now they highlight about this one. Your answer should also consider the significance of the market valuation as at 1st January 2013. Apa implication dia tadi? Kalau asset yang you beli sebelum, the chargeable asset you buy, acquire before 1st January 2013, your AP is deemed to be acquired at market value as at 1st January 2013. Okay? Betul?
Betul.
So, you should aware. Ini adalah yang baru. So, examiner sekarang, ATX examiner dia suka tanya current issue and current compliance or ruling. And make sure you read your technical article. Okay? And examiner you ni, dia suka write technical article not only in ACCA punya platform, tapi ada platform. So you cari nanti kalau ada Miss Yong. Okay, Miss Yong punya technical article ada dekat dalam SIMA, sometimes ada dalam portal, RPGT portal as well. Dia pakar RPGT ni, you punya examiner. Okay, they deal with the lawyer and also the real estate agent as well. Okay. Now, second part, compute RPGT payable in relation to the disposal of MP shares by Jeremy to Margaret. So, itu case in terms of bila you dah ada RPC shares tadi. So, anytime when you dispose your shares to other party, then you are actually dispose your chargeable asset. Okay, and you will be subject to RPGT. Okay, if you acquire bonus shares, tadi one of the comment yang examiner comment, okay, let's say kita tengok tentang examiner report tadi kan, bonus shares. Bila you dapat bonus share, you dapat share daripada company tu, now kalau you, adakah shares yang you dapat ni RPC shares? So you kena tengok ni sebab bonus share ni shares, right? So depends. Kalau you dapat shares ni selepas company to become RPC, then shares you adalah RPC shares. Okay. And kalau you dapat bonus share you before company become RPC, masa mula-mula you acquire the shares, dia belum jadi lagi RPC shares. But kalau company tu subsequently become RPC, then your shares will also become RPC later. Okay. So you can reflect that you punya. So if company cease to be RPC, the date will change as well. Kalau dia date of what? No, date of acquisition to the shareholders will be the same as deemed acquisition date. Okay, contoh macam ni, you beli masa 1 hari bulan 1 2020. Masa ni company belum lagi RPC. Okay, 1 bulan 1 18 lah Okay. Now 1 hari bulan 1 2020 company dah jadi RPC. So you to the shareholders, dia akan ada deemed acquisition date dia kat sini lah. Okay. Now, bila 1 hari bulan 1 2021, company dah tak jadi RPC tadi, tapi to the shareholders, dia punya RPC, the shares tetap RPC shares. You get the idea? So tarikh ni tetap tak berubah. Maknanya dia punya deemed acquisition date dia adalah 1 bulan 1 2020. Okay? Alright. Bukan lagi yang ini. Walaupun dia terima masa, dia beli masa 1 bulan 1 2020. Okay, is there any questions other than that? Apa yang boleh nak tanya, boleh tanya. Okay. So RPGT is actually what I can say, the topic is easy to not to spot, tapi straightforward answer. You can have a straightforward answer for this issue of RPGT. Okay. And computations, not so much. You ingat you punya 6 step tu. Okay. Then you always can answer your topic. Okay. And and then the issue, okay, bila you tengok soalan, okay, how can I help you to reflect ataupun to tengok balik you punya paper, okay. Every semester, okay, you find the similarities between semester. For example, you are studying RPGT now, okay. So every semester, at least 10 semester, okay. So look at the similarity of the issue, okay, that they highlighted in your exam, okay. And then identify whether the issue is current latest requirement ataupun standard, or issue yang relate to the new ruling, or the issue is a normal issue yang dia boleh tanya dalam RPGT. Okay. One of the questions here, example, the company is non-RPC, then they become RPC. What happened to shareholders who bought shares during non-RPC? Will the share still be non-RPC or it become RPC? Okay. I beli share 1 hari bulan 1 2018. Masa tu company biasa, bukan RPC company. So your shares is non-RPC shares. But now, 1st January 2021, the company become RPC. So to the shareholders, existing shareholders, you are deemed to acquire the RPC shares. So what would be the implication? You have to find out you punya date of acquisition now is not 1st January 2018 tadi, but your deemed acquisition date will be today's date, 1st January 2021, when the company become RPC. Okay? And you are holding chargeable asset, or RPC shares is chargeable asset. anytime when you dispose these shares, you will be subject to RPGT. Okay, so the implication bila company ni, bila you ada share dalam RPGT shares, bila dia jadi RPC, bila you jual shares subject to RPGT, and bila jual shares, you kena tahu what will be your acquisition price. Okay, and acquisition price macam mana nak cari? By comparing dia punya formula tu lah kan. So tak naklah bagi panik malam ni, apa pula formula tu? Ada je. Okay. Alright. Okay, Amira. Okay. Okay, other than that, do you have any related issue? Okay, just to get the feedback from you. Okay, if Tymba want to conduct another refresh class for ATX, what would be the topic that you want me to discuss? For 2-hour sessions lah, okay? It can be any, not only for ETS, but also you must aware that SST, investment incentive, investment allowance. For ATX, the examiner nowadays like to ask you with regards to the basic concept of principle. Okay, please go through all the examiner's report and technical article. Okay. So instead of you play you punya PUBG ke Among Us tu, so you baca you punya technical article. Alright. And examiner you suka tanya tentang current issue. If you are in the industry, okay, so you can get many dalam accountants magazine ke, dalam mana-mana, dalam website pun ada. Okay, you search for Miss Yong punya technical article. Not only in dalam ACCA, tapi dia juga ada buat general jugalah to all. Okay, Miss Yong ni one of the expert in RPGT. Okay, and not only RPGT lah, dia suka juga tentang SST sebab ada implication kan, RPGT, SST with regards to the property. Bila ada property, dia boleh juga jatuh pada SST punya compliance. Okay, why? Sebab service tax. Okay, and technical article and examiner's comment. Examiner's report is important for you to close the gap. Okay, before this, the candidate do the same. You might read the same comment. Okay, untuk diri you sendiri, reflect balik dekat diri you. So bila examiner highlight tadi macam I kata tadi, examiner kata most candidate know how to define the RPC, but you tak tahu implication dia bila company tu RPC, you kena determine the acquisition date and acquisition price. So kalau you tahu, alhamdulillah, you dah close the gap. Okay, and your examiner here, what we can say that they always want to ask again and again, kalau dia punya basic principle or concept candidate masih tak dapat nak capai dia punya target, dia akan tanya lagi next semester. Dia tanya lagi. Okay, alright. So for exam tips and tactics, okay, come and join us at Tymba so I can share my exam techniques and tips. Okay, 2 hours ni tak sempat lah yang boleh bagi untuk just a start for your RPGT computations. So tadi ada 4 step tadi tu. So if you know your format, then you should know how to explain. Okay, you just put it in full sentence. For example, for RPGT just now, how to explain the RPGT implication. So the RPGT implications can be to determine your disposal price. So how you determine your disposal price, or how you determine your date of disposal. Okay, and with regards to RPGT, for example, your RPC shares tadi, so macam mana you nak kira dia punya RPC acquisition price. Okay, so you have to master your format, taxcomu, and to explain, you just cerita balik, put it in writing in full sentence. Why you take that figure. Okay, control transfer. Okay, I will dig into point, the control transfer, self-assessment, trust settlements, okay, ISC, these are all can be, we can highlight in our sprint class at Tymba. Okay, may I know passing rate for ATX? Okay, world passing rate is berapa persen? World passing rate 40% Sekejap world passing rate for ATX is 40%. Okay, for December. September 28%. But please bear in mind the passing rate that they mention dalam website tu sebenarnya itu adalah UK passing rate. Okay, Malaysia normally below than that lah. Normally. But not to you lah. You all kan yang pass. Okay, you will contribute to the passing rate later. Okay. InsyaAllah for March exam, you are the contributor to the passing rate. Okay, you are the lucky one. So make sure it is above 50%. Okay. And ATX UK sebenarnya quite simple than Malaysia tax. That is always and that's why you kalau you tengok you punya passing rate dekat website tu, dia letak tu sebenarnya selalunya ATX dia akan tinggi daripada paper lain. Sebab itu UK tax, and UK tax is much more simpler than ATX MYS. Okay. Why you should aware about that passing rate? You should aware about your passing marks. Marks to pass is 50 and above. Please don't target 50. You should target 70 and above lah. Okay, sebab basic you dah ada dah 50. Takkanlah basic 50 tu tak boleh tambah masa ATX, you tambah another knowledge kan. Part 3 tadi about new knowledge for ATX, advanced part. Okay, you add another 30%. So you have 80% passing rate. Passing mark, not passing rate now. Okay, anything else? Is there anything? Can I get the Azrina name again? Miss Yong, nama dia penuh I tak sure. Bukanlah tak sure, pernah ingat tapi Melayu dah lupa kan. So Miss Yong. Chinese, free hair. You Google kat situ je, Miss Yong. And dia punya artikel selalu keluar dari RPGT punya website. RPGT macam real property punya. Tu Omar dah angguk-angguk mesti dah tengah search tu. Okay. Hi Tuan Aiman, how are you? Aiman Akmal, Suraya, Nur Amira, Nashita, Anis Humaira. Hi Anis Humaira. Evelyn, where are you from? Hi Major, hi Suraya. Tadi macam nak cakap tak ada suara. Are you Sarawak? Okay, what about your do you have problem for your center? I have a few students have problem to their center. They are at Sarawak now. They have to change their flight ticket and so on. I'm not sure what will happen tomorrow. I nak kena tanya dia balik. Okay, hopefully okay lah for March exam. Okay, mungkin dia bukan dekat Kuching kot. Dia punya center kena pergi mana, I'm not sure. Okay, so hopefully everything okay with you. Okay, anything? Amira, Fazrin, Ardila, Sophia, Ayu, Balkis, Nazira. There are two Nazira here. Okay, nasib baik dia buka kamera. So I ingat dia buka dua laptop. So not the same person. Nazira. Nazira with capital letter and Nazira with small letter. Nurul Nadia. Amira, Nur Amira, Nadira. Oh, Tymba, that is me. Okay. Sophia? Okay. Pray for the best. Okay. Pray for the best that your exam will not be postponed anymore. Or you want me to pray for the postponement? No, right? Okay. Let's do our best. Okay. And read your technical article. Do your past year. Okay. structure your answer based on the requirement asked. Okay, don't put everything that you know, but look carefully the requirement. Okay, the verb that they use, the terms that they use, whether they want you to calculate, whether they want you to explain, whether they want you to only define or discuss. Okay, so and when you reflect to the verb that they use, look also at the marks given. Okay, don't put everything that you know, tapi soalan tu you tak jawab. Okay, contoh tadi yang kita tengok tentang RPC tadi. Dia tanya implications of the RPC shares. You know the definition, so always use principle, applications. Write your concept, your principle, but you must apply to the scenario. That is always that lack from the students. Okay. Okay, briefly explain normally will be asked for question 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe have specific topic for specific questions. Okay, bear in mind for advanced level, okay, you have to, kalau you, macam mana kita kata, you have to identify and explain the principle that you use in your calculations, and it will examine the interconnected issue. Question 1 normally dia akan connectkan you dengan issues commonly accounted in business operations. Okay, question 1. And this akan question 1 also can give you marks for professional marks. Okay, how to write a report, how to write a letter, what would be the format of that report, letter, memo. So you just follow. You can get easily 4 marks for professional marks. So itu easy marks sebenarnya if you follow the format, the requirement. If the requirement asks you to write a report, please write a report. Okay, and normally question 1, they have the interconnections of issue commonly accounted in business operations. They want you to advise. And who is your client here? Sorry, you is actually can address the issue of you have to apply the tax law and principle, okay, in different perspective. Who is this? Different perspective means it can be for employer, it can be for your client, or you can have you have to the requirement only, and the requirement also can ask you to give perspective to the tax advisor as well. Okay, and scenario for question 1 normally they give you they can ask you for various tax principle. Okay, they can ask you with regards to ITA, Income Tax Act. They can ask you about RPGT, and they also can ask you with regards to the SST as well, or even PIA, is whether you are entitled for any investment, incentive or not. Okay, so you have to, the important here, you have to study all aspects of the syllabus, reading your technical article, practice answering your final exam question as possible. Okay. And computations. Okay. When you want to advise something, you kata you pay tax less, tapi don't stop there. So you have to show your evidence. Why you said so? So the evidence can be in terms of tax computations in the appendix. Okay. Practice make perfect. So at least 5 years. At least 5 years, not 5 semester, okay? 5 years can be 10 semester past year. Okay? InsyaAllah sempat ada masa lagi. Okay? Jangan fikirkan yang, oh kita tak nak ambil exam masa Jun sebab kita tak nak CBE. So kita kena habiskan juga masa March. So if you want to pass this March exam, bertindak mengikut arahan. What I mean, kalau nak pass kena ikut jalan yang betul lah kan. Okay, so InsyaAllah, pray for the best. Okay, maybe that no specific topics, tapi for ATX, you can the question can be for the company, Normal memang untuk company ada taxcom untuk company to advise for the company and to give advice for the individual person. Okay. Person can be individu ataupun it can be other person. Dalam tax kita ada 3 components, individu, personal. Second one company or corporate. And the third one can be other person which is not individu and company. It can be trust. Okay. ISC is a company, yeah. ISC is company. From the word itself, investment holding company. It is a company. But other person can be trust, trust body. Okay. REIT, unit trust, that is other person. Or even LLP. Okay, that is other person. LLP is not a company. Okay, it is not also an individual. So you can think overall aspect. Okay, anything else? Okay, thank you for your time. Okay, for these 2-hour sessions, pray for all the best. Okay, make sure you contact Tymba for your further actions. Okay, if you want more tips and techniques, come and join me at Tymba for the spring class. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good night. Lepas ni boleh tidur terus lah kan? Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you,
All the best to
madam.
you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you,
Bye.
madam.
Thank you. Stay safe. Bye Azwa, Ardila. Bye Umar. Hi Aiman. Okay.